Virgo, this is your week ahead astrology forecast by Astrology Motivation from Born Without Boundaries. In these readings every single week, I discuss the major planetary aspects and transits, but I also discuss how they're going to be impacting your natal sun and what that means for your day-to-day. To understand these videos and enjoy these videos, all you need to know is your birth date. That's it. Everything else I'm going to translate for you. I'm going to start off really broad with the current chart, the chart of the cosmos right now. And then I'm going to focus that down into Virgo specific information, and then I will break it down into the 3 decans of Virgos. A decan is a group of 10 degrees, and every zodiac sign has 3 of them. They're not actual things in the sky. They're markers that we make, groups that we make as astrologers in order to understand how or what aspect your natal sun is forming to the other planets at this moment. And that's going to tell me how your natal sun is being impacted, how you are going to be affected, how your behavior, your character, your perspective, your feelings, your motivation can be impacted this week. So let's get into the big stuff. This is for the week of August 11th through the 17th of 2023. I almost said 2019 for some reason. Weird, but I'm going to check the charts. Well, first and foremost, we have a new moon in Leo on the 16th. This is a very beautiful moon. It's optimistic, it's flirtatious, it's sexy, it's loving, it's romantic, and it's decadent. Because the moon, excuse me, the new moon is going to be conjunct to Venus in retrograde. And it is also simultaneously going to be square to Uranus and trine to Chiron. Which means that there's a lot of newness. There's a lot of understanding this time around, because of all the shit you've been through, what you're actually worth and what your value actually is. And welcoming something new into your life based on your new, more loving, accepting, and unique perspective of who you are. This is a wonderful new moon to welcome in the beauty that is love, true love based on who you actually are, and to break out of the conformity of what you have settled for before. This is a beautiful energy that I think will be wonderful for all of us. Jupiter is going to be by the end of the week, so I would say yes. So by the new moon, Jupiter during the new moon is going to be square to Venus. What does that mean? Excess. That's what it means. Overindulgence, superindulgence, hyperindulgence. But Venus in retrograde kind of makes me feel like maybe this is some sort of payback or indulgence that we actually deserve. So a sense of finally being able to fill up. Finally having something that you can fill up on, because Jupiter square to Venus is still a very optimistic and enthusiastic energy. It could just get overindulgent, but it feels like if our cup has run dry because of all the crap we've been through, this is a beautiful time to fill it back up. Just absolutely very fortunate and beautiful time, and we'll talk about how that's going to impact you guys. All week long, Mars is conjunct to Mercury. Mercury is your ruling dignitary, so it's important to know what Mercury is doing and where it is. So Mercury is conjunct to Mars. What does that mean? Well, just by itself, it's a fantastically intelligent and progressive energy that seeks to move and that is motivated by and seeks to move through intellectual discourse, education, fact reporting, scheduling, preparing, being able to create logistics. It is exceptional energy for compartmentalizing and getting things organized and actually figuring out a plan for how we're going to move forward. I like this energy a lot, but, and yes, there is a big old but, and that big old but comes in Neptune. So, excuse me, by the 14th, Mars, not yet Mercury not until the very end of the week, but Mars by the 14th is going to be in opposition to Neptune. And that really confuses the information that's coming into us because it makes us react to delusional things instead of realities. What do I mean? It is like throwing like atom bombs at shadows. right? You're never going to catch a shadow because the shadow was never real to begin with. People are just trying to make you waste your energy. And that's what Neptune opposite Mars is. It's a real big drain on the energy because you're aiming at fantasy instead of reality. So it's easy to confuse information and make important decisions that are based on crap. Now, another thing that concerns me is that while Mercury is conjunct to Mars opposite Neptune, Mercury is also sextile to Jupiter, which means exaggeration, which means broadening and pushing forward and developing information, disseminating more information, or it has global reach. So it has sort of multicultural, many different languages reach. So this could be a real, like, almost viral piece of information that blows up really quickly, but it is bullshit. So if we take action on it, we're actually throwing atom bombs at shadows. It's like the shadow figure. You know, somebody else is just fucking around with you, making you aim at what's behind you, instead of you seeing that it's somebody else just trying to manipulate you or distract you. So this could definitely be a period where you are more susceptible to buying some bullshit. And especially since Mercury is slowing down, it's in its shadow period now. It's going into retrograde on the 23rd of August. This could be a good time basically to just slow things down and not react as quickly as you want to, because the facts may add up, but they are adding up in the wrong order, if you understand what I'm saying. So that's global. And with the fact that there's this very rebellious energy all week long of the Sun conjunct Venus square Uranus, trine Chiron, we are super motivated to make up for mistakes from the past. We are desiring it and we are ready for it, and it'd be the perfect time for somebody to come in and take advantage of people saying, I'll fix all your problems, when they're really just bamboozling you. That's sort of that global mentality, especially toward the end of this week. So just an FYI, something to be aware of. What do I want to say? Nope, that's it. That's the big stuff. Let's go into Virgo specific information. So what do I use to get Virgo specific information? Well, first, everything that's happening to you is going to impact you. You're here, you're on Earth. But the two main things I look at for specifics, for zodiac specifics, is what's happening in the zodiac sign itself, and then what's happening with the ruling dignitary, what's interacting with that, because that's kind of like going to salt bay your life. It's kind of going to season a little sprinkle in of flavor to all aspects of your life. So in Virgo, we have two major energies. We have Mars and Mercury. Mercury is in its shadow period. Mercury is going to move in Virgo between 15 degrees and 20 degrees. See, it's only moving 5 degrees. Normally, at full speed, it moves about 10 degrees a week. So it's already at half. And then we have Mars moving between 19 degrees and 23 degrees. And that's full speed ahead. It just moves slower. What does that mean? Well, it means for those of you in the second decan of Virgo, and we'll get into what that means, your natal suns are going to be conjunct to Mercury all week long, which means they're also trine to Jupiter all week long. That can be beautiful. Those of you born in the third decan, your natal suns are going to be conjunct to Mars all week long. You've already known they're in opposition to Neptune. That's a long-term thing. But what I really want to point out for Virgo 3s, and we're going to talk about this in depth, is that the fact that you have so much activity now, like this opposition to Neptune has probably just become sort of second nature. You've learned to deal with it. You've incorporated it into your existence right now, but now it's gonna be triggered because there's all these energies joining it this week. So we'll talk about that in a sec. Now, what is Mercury doing? Mercury is in shadow period. Like I said, it's down to half speed. It's only moving 5 degrees this week. It is conjunct Mars all week. We talked a little bit about what that means. Beautiful, intellectual, and excellent energy for like engineering, strategizing, drawing up blueprints, maybe even just getting more of an education. Beautiful energy. Mercury is trine to Jupiter, which means broadening, expanded mind, speaking in many different languages, or comfortable with many different languages, or learning about many different cultures. All of those things can be true, or just big ideas, grandiose ideas, or getting sort of more comfortable with more philosophical ideas. So it doesn't have to be big as in ambitious ideas, but more like higher thought, philosophical thought. And then we have, I'm sorry, by the 17th, which is the last day of this week, we have Mercury opposite Neptune, and that's when things get real messed up. Because Mars is going to be kind of like reacting to Neptune like, I'm inadequate, right? I have to speed up, but it's not. You're not really inadequate. It's all bullshit. But then when Mercury gets in, it can really mess up your brain. It can really start to distract you and fill your head with a bunch of nonsense. So it's almost like having a mental disorder, like this sense of you're believing something is real and it's not. Now, this won't last long, but it'll be quite impactful. So from the end of this week through next week, this is a big old red flag, FYI. Just letting you guys know. And then Mercury is going to go into retrograde, and that's going to be on August 23rd, and it'll retrograde back. There'll be more of Mercury retrograde opposite Neptune. More convoluted and very confusing energy at that point. So we'll talk about that then. And then we have on the 14th, Mercury is trine to Uranus. So by the 14th, Mercury will be trine to Uranus. That's actually very brilliant and beautiful energy. That is creative discovery, outside of the box thinking, foreign affairs, interaction, spreading information globally, higher mind, beautiful energy. Let's see how that starts to interact then with that Neptune opposition by the 17th. It could be something that's just driving you to the point of distraction that you can't get it out of your mind. Just an FYI. Excuse me. Let's talk about the decans. The 3 decans. We're going to start with decan 1. If you know that your natal sun, because you have your natal chart, and if you want your natal chart, guys, that's easy. Like, you legitimately just have to go online and search free natal chart or free birth chart. So many websites do it. All you have to put in is your birth date, your birth time, and your birth location. And it pops it up in a couple of seconds. So if you know, because you have your natal chart, your natal sun is between 0 and 9 degrees Virgo, you are in the your natal sun is in the first decan of Virgo. So you guys are Virgo 1s. This correlates to basically August Virgos. Anyone that's born between August 22nd and the 31st, that you guys would definitely be Virgo 1s. Leo cuspers would be 22nd, 23rd, maybe into the 24th of August. Your natal suns are in opposition to Saturn. That's it. There's no big, crazy stuff that's happening for you guys right now. Though you are, especially if you're on the Leo cusp, very, very close. If you are on the Leo cusp, you are conjunct to that new moon on the 16th. And that's going to be a beautiful, heart-opening, joyful, almost like euphoric experience. There's a lot of new opportunity for taking love into your life. There's a lot of opportunity for improving the love that you have. There's a lot of opportunity for money to come into your life. Like, this is a beautiful time for you to use the power of this new moon to start off a new slate with a newer, more mature, and unique understanding of your own personal beauty and value. Beautiful energy. The rest of the week, you just have that long-term opposition to Saturn, which means you're dealing with the same stuff that you have been dealing with, especially when it comes to work or authority figures. Excuse me. I don't know why I'm so clumpy today. I apologize, guys. I mean, I could try to edit it out, but I'd be editing everything because it's just schlockiness. I apologize. Virgo 2s, if you know that your natal sun is between 10 and 19 degrees Virgo, it's in the second decan of Virgo, and I'll refer to you guys as Virgo 2s. This would correlate to birthdays at the beginning of September. So September 1st through like the 11th, maybe the 10th. That would be you guys. Your natal suns are going to be conjunct to Mars, but only through the 12th. Now that will give you real huge like feeling of major energy. So through the 12th, if you have anything physically exerting that you have to do, definitely get it done before the 12th, because Mars isn't even in opposition to Neptune yet. This is a beautiful time to just get real physical, get into your body, feel real virile. Sex will be real good at that point. Like, this is like just energy, and maybe a little bit pop-off-ish, you know, you may be quicker to be more physical with stuff, but you'll feel the vitality, and that will be very helpful. By the 17th, your natal suns, excuse me, by the 17th, you're going to feel, your natal suns conjunct to Mercury through the 17th. So basically, that's all week long. What does that mean? Well, for the first couple of days, that means you got a lot of energy, a lot of vitality, and a lot of brain power. And so I would definitely trust yourself to roll with whatever project or something that you come up with. If you're taking a test at this time, you're gonna ace it, and you're gonna be done with it in a half hour before everybody else is. This is kind of like the energy of your brain on like speed. It's like it's working really precise, really clearly. So especially up to the 12th, but all week long, that conjunction to Mercury is gonna make you like you're real crystal clear on your thought processes and on the way that you communicate with people. Your natal suns are trine to Jupiter and quincunx to Chiron, but this is mostly those of you born at the very end of the second decan. Say those of you born between the 8th and the 10th or 11th of September. It's especially you guys that are going to be trine to Jupiter and quincunx to Chiron. So there's this sense of, I want to open myself and broaden my perspectives, because the stuff that I've been through is agitating me and frustrating me to the point that I don't want to be where I was, right? And so there is this curiosity to expand beyond that. And that'll actually last with you for a couple of weeks. Let's go on to Virgo 3s. If you know that your natal sun is between 20 and 29 degrees Virgo, it is in the third decan of Virgo. And so I'm going to refer to you guys as Virgo 3s. This correlates to birthdays between the 12th and the 22nd of September. So right up to that Libra cusp, which would be 20, 21st, 22nd of September, Libra cusps. On the 12th, your natal suns will conjunct to Mars. And then you have until the 14th. So those first 2 days, just a lot of vitality, a lot of energy. But then by the 12th, by the 14th, by the 15th, you could start seeing yourself kind of getting distracted or feeling like you have to take action to make up for perceived inadequacies, which you really don't have. So be careful, especially if you're doing some gym work or physical work. Don't try to push yourself because you feel like you have to prove yourself. You don't. Set your schedule and stick to it, Virgo. I know you can do it. We also have a conjunction to Mercury by the 17th. So by the end of this week, your natal suns will be conjunct to Mercury. At that point, Mercury and Mars will already be in opposition to Neptune, and it is going to be majorly triggered. So you guys are going to be impacted really heavily by this distractive energy, by this energy of perceived inadequacy that makes you jump at straws or, shoot at shadows. So it's going to be easy for you to get distracted, and especially with Mercury still trine to Jupiter, get really caught up in like conspiracy theories or philosophies that are a little bit out there. Going down the rabbit hole, if you don't take it seriously, can be actually kind of fun. But if you start taking it seriously and you feel like it's affecting your mood, take a step back, close the book, and turn it off. It could be the only way. Turn off the computer, close the book. It could be the only way that you stop yourself from digging into those rabbit holes. Just an FYI. It can mean that you're also just easily distracted that week. And if you feel like you need more rest, an opposition to Neptune can make you more exhausted, even with Mars there, especially with Mars there because it's acting upon Mars. So it can start to drain your energy. So if you have a lot of high energy things that you need to get done, please get it done between the 12th and the 14th, because after the 14th, Mars is going to conjunct Neptune, and it's really going to you're going to start to feel drained. Just an FYI. The new moon is about 30 degrees because the new moon is happening at 23 degrees Leo. So it's happening in about 30 degrees, 30 to 37 degrees from you guys, from your natal suns. This could be quite confusing or frustrating energy, but it doesn't necessarily mean bad. Since it is such a benefic and optimistic energy, it could just mean that it's driving you to distraction. And it won't, like, so pay attention to it. And at least for the 16th, give yourself like a cheat day. Let yourself sort of just be liberated and free that day and open your heart. We have a trine to Uranus and a trine to Pluto that is long term, will be for the next couple of years, and it makes you puts you at in harmony with all the different changes and all the different kind of discoveries or technological advancements that are going to start being made over the next couple of years, which could really work in your favor in terms of how you incorporate it into your life, how you figure out a way to make it help you out, or put it to use in your career. So you let me know in the comments below. Uranus trine your natal sun is making you way more comfortable with oddities, peculiarities, and being unique, and not needing anybody else's approval, or not needing to fit in. And then the trine to Pluto is making you very formidable. There's an energy about you that kind of inspires people to believe, yes, we can make this change. So of any of you, you are the most dynamic and they're most prone, especially this week, to rebellious activity, Virgo 3s. You let me know in the comments below, and please subscribe to this channel so we can grow over here. Recommend it to your friends. Let everybody know how great these readings are. And then come on over to Born Without Boundaries Tarot so you can enjoy your tarot card message for the week. I love you guys. I'll see you in the videos.